Business Morning. Let's bring in Okpeyemi Oguntade, who is a senior investment officer with financial derivatives companies, as we continue our focus on the commodities market. Now we're talking agri-commodities. Consumers have been feeling more than a little pinch since the year started. December, the buying of food commodities for the holidays kind of, came with the flow, and earnings have not really improved. Salaries have not really improved over the last couple of months, and food prices have been up and down. Let's call it that. Okpeyemi, let me bring you in at this time so you can give us a broader perspective of what's going on with agri-commodities this morning. Thank you for coming in. Good morning.
Good morning, Harriet.
So, let me start off from, the price of bread going up from 250 to 300 naira. The last time we had conversations, you actually made reference to that. The Nigerians will have to start paying a 14% more for bread in the coming days because flour has increased. Why?
Well, the reason why the price of flour has gone up is because the fast-moving consumer goods are finding it difficult to gain access to foreign exchange. They need to import the raw materials they use in their production. Now, this is surprising because, if you look at what is going on in the global market with wheat prices and corn, which is two of the major commodities that are used in producing flour, their prices are going down as a result of, supply-demand mix. For wheat specifically, you have demand for wheat going down from Egypt because they have rejected 2 of their shipments from France on an increase or a more stringent policy on their wheat imports. And then for corn as well, you have an increase in production coming from the US and the US economy. And what we've seen on the global front is that the prices of these commodities are coming down. But bringing it down to Nigeria, it seems like the Nigerian market is not moving in tandem with the international market, and this is because of the forex scarcity that we have that's plaguing the country. It's making it difficult for producers to gain access to the forex they need to import, and obviously with scarcity there's usually an upward movement in prices, and this is why we have the price of flour going up from 7,000 to 8,000, and now we have bread as well, because flour is one of the major components used in producing bread, and so we have bread going from 250 naira to 300 naira, and so this is something consumers have to look at. If the price of the goods you consume are going up and your disposable income isn't moving in tandem to inflation, it means you probably have to switch to cheaper substitutes, maybe pap or maybe yam. I was reading an article the other day, and a family size, maybe of about 5, I believe. They have chosen to stop eating bread as a staple for breakfast. They are switching to yam because they can according to them, they could purchase a tuber of yam for 300 naira, and that would be more satisfactory than your loaf of bread that would probably not even take you as far as your tuber of yam in terms of filling up the belly.
Okay, now why is it that at this time people are not looking at the option of reverting back to cassava flour? The federal government tried to introduce cassava flour into bread making a couple of years ago, but not a lot of people have actually bought into that. They've tried it. Some people said it was okay, but I don't think they got the mixing formula very well. So we can make do with cassava flour and not necessarily always have to depend on flour imported.
Yeah, like you said, it seems they didn't get the mixture quite right. And if you're producing a product that in terms of quality isn't so suitable to the consumers, and they're not purchasing it at the end of the day after you've spent so much in terms of production, no company in itself wants to produce at a loss where you're producing a product and you're selling off to consumers that have a preference for bread that is made with flour as opposed to cassava flour. So obviously the companies will take this into account. If the demand for products made with cassava flour isn't there, then they probably wouldn't venture into that. So at the end of the day, it has to come from the consumer preference side. In terms of consumer preferences, that it depends on what consumers prefer. So if consumers do not really go for bread produced with cassava flour, so to speak, then there's no need for companies to move into that. But it is something that this fast-moving consumer goods need to take into account to improve our locally to prove our local industry.
Okay, so we're looking at the domestic commodity spot prices for today for some of those commodities, including cassava, flour, sugar, rice, palm oil. Has there been any dramatic change in any of these prices since the last time we had conversations?
Maize, the price of maize has gone up. Usually what we have with maize is maize prices tend to come down towards this period. They do not. So far, they started increasing in mid-October. They were about 45,000 naira for a metric ton. But now what we have is maize is going for about 65,000 naira a metric ton. And this is because of the curtailed import as well as the weakened naira. It's making it more expensive for importers to bring in this product. So we have the price of maize. It was around 2.5 before for a kilogram, but now it's trading at about 3,000 naira.
Well,
for 50 kg.
Well, so we're going to be looking at the markets and hoping that something happens between now and the next time we have conversation, which is in another 48 hours. Maybe the markets will change by then if the fundamentals change as well. But thank you so much, Okwayemi, for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okwayemi Oguntade is a senior investment officer with Financial Derivatives Company, and they give us regular updates on what's going on at the commodities markets globally and domestically as well. We're still talking about the state of the people's economy in just a moment with Gabriel Idahosa. He's the CEO of UHY Maji & Co. He will be giving us his perspectives on that. Join us again.